Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your 5-minute break as much as we did. We being myself, Brimstone, and of course, Falcon and Red Cube here. We just enjoyed that break. We spent a little bit of time discussing that match that we just saw. That was Queen YOLO Mid going up against 8K. Fantastic match, 7-5 for Queen YOLO Mid. But we got another great matchup coming here in the form of Disrupt Gaming going up against Slaughterhouse here. And the reason why it should be interesting is, although Disrupt Gaming might be favored to do so, to take the match, Disrupt Gaming is sometimes a little bit unpredictable. They've taken some matches from some good teams. They've had close and even matches and even losses with some lower teams. So you don't always know what you're going to get with Disrupt Gaming. So that's why it's going to be interesting coming into this one. But before we get into discussing that, I am just going to give you a quick recap on the evening. Of course, Artemis beating Powerhouse 7-1. Victoria's Secret beating Outdeuced 8-6. Queen YOLO Mid beating AK 7-5. And of course, the match off stream. And that was Sinister Red taking it to Axios 8-7. So that one went the distance. But coming into this matchup here, we think it's going to be Disrupt Gaming. If it is Slaughterhouse, is it going to be by map choice, by operator choice, by sheer will of force? What do you think it's going to be, Henry?
I think coming into this game, DG are coming off of a loss to Powerhouse. I'm trying to look here at the exact score. It was 6-8 against Powerhouse. So Powerhouse, they went the distance, and that's not a dominant win by any means. So it makes sense that like you could kind of see maybe just some faults here and there, especially when teams kind of go the distance and go into that overtime. They start to slip up quite a bit because they're just not built for that endurance. And before this, DG never really had a super long game. So it makes sense that going against Powerhouse and Powerhouse forcing their way into overtime, it could lead to Disrupt's demise. And in the end, it really did. So DG is coming into this game, I think, a little bit, I don't know a good word for it, but they need to prove something, and they also have a bad taste in their mouth from last week, as losing to Powerhouse, which is number 9 right now in the standings, is nothing you want to do, as it just kind of does quite a bit to a team's confidence. So I think Disrupt are coming into this bad taste in their mouth. Slaughterhouse, on the other hand, also have a very bad taste in their mouth because they're sitting at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to standings. So I think it's just two teams that need to prove quite a lot, and it should really be a fight in terms of just statistics and just maybe better team based on points. Disrupt should technically have an easy win, but the history and the things behind this matchup could really be a solid recipe for another overtime matchup for today. Well, technically another, but another close matchup for today.
Definitely, and what we'll discuss next are the players that are going to be making the difference in this match. Starting off here, we're going to look at the lineups with Disrupt Gaming. Of course, they have Maddox, the one, the only, Dope Girl, Fry Queen, Doja Wolf, who had a fantastic week last week. She actually put up a 17K that game, followed up by C Millionaire. Moving over, we have Slaughterhouse with Assault Queen, Pyra, Tara, Bailey, and Alexis K. I believe they've had a bit of a stir up in their roster as well, some newer names as well. So hopefully they can use that as an injection of some quote unquote youth coming in and just something new, something different, maybe hopefully get them out of the funk and see what they can do. If it's going to take one map, I personally would think maybe something like Coastline. We always, refer to it when you want that randomness.
You mean
craziness.
You mean Clubhouse?
Oh, sorry, Clubhouse.
Yeah, okay.
Clubhouse as opposed to Clubhouse.
The contract, Brimstone.
Clubhouse might work as well, but if not, Clubhouse would be a great map to go to. But no, in all seriousness, if Slaughterhouse is going to do it, I think it would have to be on Coastline. What do you think, Falcon?
Dude, this is hard. If I don't think you can just talk about a map in this case, given how rough this team's road has been to get here. It's not been fun. It's been like, it's not even getting better, it's getting worse. Like, they started on like an abandoned highway in the middle of a desert. It was like dust bunnies around, freaking like, I don't know what those are called, like those things.
Salamanders, like salamanders running around and stuff.
The tumbleweeds?
Tumbleweeds, yeah. And then it kept...
I was talking about snakes.
Then there were snakes. it degraded. Then there
Yeah.
were like snakes all over the roads, like under the road. They're like tearing up the pavement, and then you get to like it's like apocalypse at the other end. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. So okay, the streak they've been going on, obviously, it's been bad. They've had 6 losses, 7 losses. They've won once, but
Yeah, I believe that was
it
in their
gets
first week that they won, and they're currently on a 6-game losing streak, unfortunately.
so okay. Let's hear me out. So the first, if that is true, then this is ridiculous because the first game they won, but over the past 5 games, they went 6-7 against Axios. They went 5-7 against 8K. They went 4-7 against Victorious. They went 2-7 against QYM. They went 1-7 against Team Sinister. If trend continues, this will be a very, very fast match. And I just like if they might have to pull out like I don't know a Hereford base to keep themselves in this.
Yeah, and we'll get into map bans in just a second here, but just a quick note. The one win was against Powerhouse in week 7. Now there's been roster changes on both sides, but this is a team that just beat Disrupt Gaming. So it just goes to show anything can change around here. But yeah, let's find out what map we are going to look at. We're going to map ban. So take it away here for us.
This could be the day where we don't see Clubhouse once. And that even includes the off-stream match, because the off-stream match was played on Consulate. We've had, what was the first game? Coastline, it feels like ages ago. Coastline, Villa, Consulate. And then now we're on a situation where we really could have a day. This is CCS history in the making. Just letting everybody know. This is huge. We could have a day in CCSW where we don't play Clubhouse. And do I expect it to happen? Not at all. I'm expecting this to just go to Clubhouse very, very quickly. But I kind of hope it doesn't, as we can be a part of history, but we'll see what happens. As we are going to be, the first bans coming out is going to be Bank off the board, Villa off the board, so we won't be seeing Villa again. Consulate and Cafe as well for the side of Slaughterhouse. Coastline, so it looks like it's going to be coming down to Clubhouse, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't expect this to go to Border, as I don't think, have we seen
Okay.
I'm going to shut up and turn the map ban off, because I've just been absolutely slammed.
We've been bamboozled.
We are going to Border.
I mean, I don't remember a Border. I
think we've had a couple Borders. It's definitely not a very prominent map, but just like that, no Clubhouses today. We've had 2 Villas today. This is really shaping up to be what you typically see from a league. Maps that are kind of pick and draw, not something very consistent. Because I think one of the big problems a lot of people actually had with CCSW was in the early goings, there was so much Clubhouse. And the play began to get very saturated, and it just kind of felt like it was the same game over and over and over again. But now that we're getting into the later half of the round, and not late round, but later half of the season, we're starting to see teams are getting more comfortable on more maps. They'll probably be scrimming on more maps, and they're saying, you know what, I can take a team to this map. I can take a team to that map. And it's just something that's very, very good to see, especially in a league like this, because when you start to see the map pools of all the teams start developing, that shows the competition is reaching a much higher level than what it was once at.
Yeah, so we're going to be getting this quite fast. Actually, I think our teams are actually already ready in the lobby. So as soon as we can, we'll be bringing this game. This time, the standings today, all these games have been relatively kind of far apart in the standings. We had Artemis, the only dominant win, but they're first. That's not surprising. The other ones, 8th place versus 2nd place. Then we had a 7th place versus 3rd place. Those we didn't expect to get as close, but we appreciate that they did. Those gave us really good games. This one, however, this is going to be a harder ask to bring it to that kind of tight scoreline where we expect that anything could happen. Disrupt, they do kind of slack off sometimes, but I'm going to be really, really surprised if Slaughterhouse lets them, or like if Disrupts lets Slaughterhouse, the other way around, do the same thing that Powerhouse and a couple of other teams Artemis done to them. And it really is going to be a hard ask for Slaughterhouse to get in. Like, I guess they're going to get like a round or 2, but it's going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, and I think the thing we also have to talk about, which we kind of glossed over when talking about the rosters of both of these teams is Maddox on the side of Disrupt has been absolutely massive. And I do not expect her to slow down anytime soon. This is when games start to matter a lot more. And we've seen that when the stakes are high, Maddox shows up 100%. And that's kind of what I'm expecting here. She is definitely one of the front runners for MVP. And we could easily see some more evidence of that. But going into the ban phase here, the first operator off the board is going to be an IQ. So throughout the entire day today, we've been fooled by an IQ shooting through a presumably wooden floor that is 100% a wooden floor. I'm going to talk to the map designers, but no, we've been fooled by an IQ all day today, and IQ is finally off the board, and it's going to be a Monty ban as well. So two very, very unique bans that we have not seen yet today, as Monty on Border was banned out quite a bit, maybe in like season 2 of Pro League, but this is not something you typically see anymore.
I wonder if these guys actually run Monty a lot. They're referencing
That's what I'm
to
thinking.
something,
I think because
right?
I just saw the chat too as well, which was
Yeah.
as I just saw the chat too as well, which was like, oh, the Slaughterhouse special. So I'm guessing Slaughterhouse probably run Monty quite a bit. I don't recall them running Monty too much, as we did have a little bit of a technical issue there, but we are back into the game here. As going into the operator pick of the very first round of the very last game of week number 8, DG going up against Slaughterhouse. There's not a lot. It sounds harsh, but I don't think we have too much hope in Slaughterhouse really kind of going the distance with this game, just based on their record and kind of their previous play. But anything can happen. This is the game of the Siege. It is one of the most fluid games on the market, so we're just going to have to wait and see.
I would be really happy if they broke the trend completely. They've been going downhill for the past 5 weeks. If they could just pull it out and win this game, that would be amazing. But either way, some content is going to get made this game, and I'm glad about that.
Yeah, I mean, content is content. Everybody loves content. And the thing that we kind of have to see here is, again, this is a situation, is DG going to be hiding strats? Yes, they are 4th, and they are in the fringe of potentially getting bumped out of playoffs. But if they get into a position where they're winning a lot and they're winning convincingly, I will not be surprised if they just say, okay, guys, calm down with our holds, calm down with our strats. Let's just play our game. Let's just kind of get really loose with it so nobody can take anything away from this matchup. I won't be surprised if that happens.
Yeah, and look at I don't think we noticed, but this is unconventional. Okay. Definitely some conventional coming out from the side of Slaughterhouse. Not only are they going to the downstairs bomb site in customs, which is usually the tertiary bomb site, not even secondary, but Valkyrie having a camera just on the railing on the west balcony and keeping one in her pocket for some reason. She's tossed another one out somewhere. We're maybe going to see that eventually, but a bit, yeah, definitely unique strategies coming out from Slaughterhouse. While if you look at DG, their setups are already pretty spectacular to get Maddox into the building and into the main hallway this quickly into the round. It's been 30 seconds, no picks just yet, but she's chilling here, and her teammates already got a pick onto likely a player either running out main door or maybe inside CCTV. But good kill by Chameleonaire, and the Jaeger falls first off.
Yeah, and just like that, Jaeger's off the board. Excuse me, not too much utility, but it is just a situation where a very valuable roamer and also a very valuable, excuse me again, I have hiccups for some reason, a very valuable gun is off the board. But Fry Queen now trying to pinch out this Valkyrie sitting behind the kind of half wall here in the offices. But it doesn't really matter as Kai and Maddox go absolutely huge, and it's going to be 2 operators now, Castle dead, and all left to the Maestro downstairs. So a completely invested up top hold with all your operators sitting up top was dismantled before you could even reach the halfway mark. This was not a good start whatsoever for, oh my goodness, what? This is not a good start. Goodness, oh my goodness, that's a new one. But
the nerf top shotting.
Yeah, I think that was just a little bit of shock there. So I think maybe Chameleonaire playing quite a bit of Call of Duty lately as a drop shotting through the hatch. And oh my goodness, that was quite the quick round for DG. I think that could easily be fastest round for today.
Oh yeah, 1 minute 30. Not even like, okay, just past 1 minute 30, maybe reaching the 40 mark. but definitely, if this entire game is anything, if that round is anything to be said about this entire game, this is going to be a very, very, very swift one. Now, finally, Slaughterhouse going to a more conventional bomb site. But, I mean, looking at that performance, no one even getting a frag and barely any damage off. One operator on the attacking team was maybe half health, if that, not even.
Yeah.
By the time the last player was alive, and he got one pick, but, I mean, both the players dropping at the same time, that was smart, so the refrag was guaranteed. No chance of dropping the round, and yeah, well played from Disrupt, keeping it clean.
Yeah, that was very, very clean. I think clean is almost an understatement. That was just surgical, the way they just completely dismantled that hold. And something we could look at was the fact that it wasn't a very unviable site. I don't exactly know why Slaughterhouse went there. It's not like Slaughterhouse is trying to hide any strats. That sounds really mean, and I apologize, but you're at the bottom of the table. You don't need to be hiding strats or playing on sites that kind of try to throw the other team off. You need to just focus on kind of the basics of things and try to get the fundamentals down. That sounds really mean. I apologize, but it's kind of, yeah, I gotta be honest. You kind of want to just get the fundamentals down before you start. You want to walk before you can run. Simple as that. And unfortunately, I think Slaughterhouse bit off a little bit more than they could chew that last round, and they went to a very unviable site. DG capitalized on it in flying colors, and now Slaughterhouse already very quickly are down a round.
Yeah, this round at least isn't that fast. Terra sees a body through the little peek hole, and K, Wolf is taken down to very, very low health. Tries to capitalize, does the Valkyrie, but she's going to get taken down by Maddox. Great frag. And good support onto her teammate, not letting Wolf K fall without a price to be paid.
Yeah, as we are going to be seeing now, the side of DG, making sure that that east stairs flank is going to be kind of covered as a Claymore goes down. And now Terra sitting with the Bandit. Terra has been many times kind of what keeps the ball rolling for Slaughterhouse in many rounds. She's had some very explosive rounds in CCSW, but unfortunately not one person can just do it all, as we are going to be seeing one kill come out for Terra, and that's going to be on Maddox. The very, very scary Maddox, that is, on the side of DG, goes down first, and that's going to be not only a very huge kill in terms of just fragging power, but you also lose frag grenades and soft destruction on the side of Sledge, and Bandit, I don't think, has been droned out and is once again in a position where not only a jump out could receive potentially a kill, but just running in could waddle into the sights of Terra. So this is a really nice spot for Bandit to be in, but is unfortunately going to be getting droned out right there, and now is in a spot where the pinch is probably getting orchestrated, and you don't expect the well, the life expectancy of the Bandit is lowering quite fast.
As the time ticks on, definitely. But speaking of time, 50 seconds. That's a lot of stalling. Terra does get another one out of K, already low health, but refragged immediately. Dope Girl gets one of her own. And the Thermite coming in. Still a good gun. She has the potential to do more. Bailey is waiting for her. The flashbangs will not affect her. And no information. They don't know. The Thermite might manage to get this wall open, and a good frag by Chameleonaire to cover onto the Thermite, and unfortunately for the Jaeger, not able to catch that frag. And now Smoke. I think Smoke right now is all to do, and he managed to get it down. Alright, that's a good start. 1 health though, virtually, and her teammate is now taken off the board. 2 versus 1, she's stuck in a corner. She has to deny the bomb plant. It's not gonna happen. Dope Girl through the smoke, it seems, gets the frag anyways. And still 2-0 flawless so far for DG. Not in the rounds themselves, but so far on the map, that is definitely what it looks like it's going to continue.
Yeah, Slaughterhouse did their best to guys hold back the flood that is DG, as that round looked a lot better than the first round. And, well, unfortunately, it doesn't really matter, as it is still going to be 2-0 in favor of Disrupt. And I hope you guys all heard my dog doing his little flaps because he was excited. So make sure you get those good boys in chat, because he is having a splendid time watching these games. But as he should, as it's been very, very entertaining today. The thing I think Slaughterhouse needs to just kind of figure out is, again, let's go back to the basics. Let's just kind of focus on ourselves, as well as focusing on being able to just do the simple things right. And that last round was actually a really good sign of that. They did a lot of the simple things right, but then it was just a change of, hey, you know what, Disrupt, they're not going to just attack with the simple things, and they just got outplayed at the very tail end of things. And also is a time management issue, as we've seen a time management issue for the likes of Powerhouse as well. And a little bit unfortunate for the side of Slaughterhouse, but this game is nowhere near over, and it kind of sounds like we're already counting them out. And we do apologize for that, because this can really go in anyone's favor. And we really hope it is another situation where, hey, this is a spot where Slaughterhouse and Disrupt put up an absolute show. And we are having some technical difficulties, so I apologize if you guys kind of hear us staggering around and things like that. But we're trying to get things figured out as quick as possible, as unfortunately we did get unsynced because we are in what is this, a 6th year of Siege, and we still don't have like multiple spectator slots in a custom lobby. Is actually astounding. But you know,
I can't even emphasize that enough. We need better spectator tools. Hello, Ubisoft.
Yes, it is much needed, so very much needed, and we just don't get it.
Just mad respect to our like actual observers. Like, these guys are doing a heck of a lot of work. There are other, like, okay, you can say that Counter-Strike is better observing, but they have tools up the butt for their usage. They have a mini map. They can see numbers on the mini map. They can see like utility being used, everything, like lines.
Isn't there also an option where if somebody shoots or like gets into a gunfight, it's like 5 seconds delayed, so they get the gunfight on the spectator system?
Yeah, I think like if you're
just
using
ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
incredible.
Yeah, so
And,
Valve,
Ubisoft,
Valve.
You know, help us out. Did you almost say Battle.eye?
No, I said Valve. I almost said Valve, please fix, but no, Ubisoft, please.
Ubisoft, please fix. All right, so it looks like we are all synced up, so that is going to be good. We have changed, done a whole kind of flip of exactly what we're watching right now, so we do apologize again. But just like that, something we are going to be watching is DG already have gotten the plant down. One kill is going to be going in favor of Slaughterhouse as Bailey is able to get a kill onto Kai, but at what cost? You have to have this retake situation as Maddox is able to find one as Fry Queen goes down. So a direct trade there, but this is really still in advantage of DG, even with that was questionable for the Maestro. That's not a situation you want to defuse in, and it's just a game of ring around the rosy and Disrupt win it out once again. Don't know why the Maestro went for the defuse that early on. Typically in those types of situations, you really want to get your teammates and basically your entire team in positions where you can get covered. Nobody was covering the Maestro. Yes, you had the smoke, but I think the smoke was looking the complete opposite way. Not the way to retake in that situation, and another very, very fast round from Disrupt.
Oh man, I have to agree with you too. Like, that Maestro, it was looking tight. The entire round, Slaughterhouse, okay, not the entire round, but after the execute, Slaughterhouse had the man advantage through and through. They were one pickup the entire time, and then the Maestro sticks to defuse and gets knifed. That is questionable. No refrag from the smoke. She was sitting in small closet or in box, whatever you want to call it, like small or something. But she was there, and it just didn't come through. Whether the wall was reinforced, I'm not entirely sure. Whether she just didn't hear the knife, it wasn't communicated or whatever. But whatever the case, a misplay on someone's part. Not gonna point fingers, but definitely that round could have gone in the favor of the defenders if they traded a bit more effectively. It's just a bit unfortunate that that was what didn't exactly happen. So yeah, still Disrupt continuing their streak 3 rounds in a row.
And it's kind of a game of inches right now for Disrupt, because we are kind of seeing a situation where not Disrupt, I apologize, for the side of Slaughterhouse. It's a game of inches because there's these little mistakes, but we said this earlier on. You don't stumble over mountains, you stumble over molehills, and it's always the small things that are going to dismantle your team entirely, and that's kind of what is happening for Slaughterhouse at the moment. It's just kind of the fundamentals, once again, is just getting missed, and just the basics of things that you want are just unfortunately getting lost out. As another diffuser plant is coming down, and as it looks like we are very far ahead of the stream once again, and that one was snuffed out entirely. That is a great answer from Slaughterhouse. We saw DG got the plant down extremely early last time around. That is the perfect response from Slaughterhouse, completely shutting any idea of that plant coming down. And, well, now Slaughterhouse find themselves in, I think, one of the very first times a position where they can really win this round out.
Absolutely. 2 versus 4. They've got... Okay. Disrupt has plenty of time, but Slaughterhouse should have the positions to shut them out if they manage, I mean, to do anything virtually. This is very, very difficult for the side of Disrupt. Both players on full health, but the utility is kind of lacking. No more Thatcher EMPs, but all they have to rely on is that kind of mistake, and it's not going to happen again. Assault Queen, perfect cover from up top. That's the G2 angle that we've seen from year 1, and they should know about that by now. They've already lost a person to it. And unfortunately, the second one falls, and it's all up to Wolf K. He has yet to find one. Has some inklings on where players are, but they're not going to give her a single frag.
As we are going to be seeing a double kill now come out for Kai, but it's kind of just pity kills at that point. They're almost 100% impactless. And finally, Slaughterhouse with a breath of life, I think we can call it, as DG were on the cusp of getting a very quick plant down. If that happened again, I would have almost 100% expected DG to win it. But the fact that Slaughterhouse kind of read it out and realized, hey, we can stop this almost immediately, is exactly what they wanted to happen. Is exactly what they wanted to happen. Is exactly what they did. So very, very solid from the side of Slaughterhouse, and that I think was one of the very first rounds so far in today's game where we really saw the true potential of Slaughterhouse and what they can do if they just focus up and kind of play their game. As again, guys, we apologize for some sync issues, as it seems as if we are quite a bit ahead of exactly where the stream is, and we are trying to get it addressed as quick as possible. Once again, it's the spectator system. It's also North America. This is something we have to just learn to love at this point. Well, not love it, but I think learn to deal with it.
Yeah, that's all we can really do. We gotta... Dude. Ubisoft has to hear us by now, right? It's been 4 years.
They gotta hear us. We're a very, very loud majority. It's not even a loud minority. It's a loud majority.
You know what? We got Purple Tarp fixed before we have a spectator system.
We did.
It's just gone now.
That is just kind of sad. But we are going to be trying to get synced up here, guys. Again, we do apologize for some of the issues, as we had some issues earlier on in today, and they kind of seemed to get snuffed out, but unfortunately they have made their revenge in the last game of the day, as we are getting closer and closer to potentially getting synced up, but we are trying our best here, so we apologize if we are kind of not really...
What if we just pretend like we're psychic?
Yeah, I'm synced up, so...
Okay, I'm psychic then. It's fine.
Okay, I just paused. Okay, well, we're apologize to the viewers, but we kind of just want to talk about this so we can address it right now. So what I did was I just paused it and then waited so that I'm synced up. So I paused it and played it, and then now I'm good.
That works. Okay.
Yeah. So
I should be getting closer.
Yeah, we're getting much closer. All right, I'm perfect right now. So we are good to go on my side of things. So we're just trying to figure it out with the side of Falcon, if he can figure things out. But now we are reaching almost, we are at the potentially the 150 mark here very, very soon. And not much has happened. Typically from DG, we would have already seen a quite aggressive push or a potential of actually getting a plant down, but it seems like they've learned from their mistakes from last round, and they are definitely slowing things down and going for a more methodical and I guess more traditional approach to this site.
Yeah, so it's looking like it's... I mean, it seems better technically for both teams, as the diffuser hasn't been planted yet, so upside for Slaughterhouse. But looking at how methodical, like you said, Disrupt is playing, I highly doubt that it'll go any different, to be honest. They've been looking great on all their rounds, whether it's been rush plants or whether it's been slow and steady. Maybe the turtle wins the race or something. All that stuff's been looking good. Other than last round, they got a bit too cocky. Other than that, it's been fairly decent. They haven't really dropped any balls or whatever. And so far, everything looks covered. They have all the flanks being watched. Main stairs is being watched for. They're not even going to lose that pick. They're going to get the information that Assault Queen's pushing up and push back. Hopefully he actually still pays attention to that, as they do get smoked out. The diffuser does get denied. but the smoke on the defense is put on really low HP. What's important though, Assault Queen getting the frags on the flank.
Oh,
If she can activate, she's got a teammate here too, the Bandit. The Bandit will get okay, well, now it's over. It's never mind. They shut me up just like they shut up Slaughterhouse.
it was so close. I was like, oh wow, Slaughterhouse is really playing this very well. They had 2 smoke kills. They denied the diffuser both times, and they could potentially deny it a 3rd time, but it doesn't really matter as the angles are being held. But we got to give credit to Disrupt there. This is not an issue of, oh, Slaughterhouse just isn't playing good. They're not playing good, blah, blah, blah. DG is just, they're not even that much better. No, DG is playing really, really good. And Slaughterhouse is also playing good. It's just DG is playing better. Right there, DG were in a situation where they weren't getting plant down. They also had a man disadvantage, or a woman disadvantage in this case, and they still were able to win it out. They perfectly executed their kind of down man count situation, and they were able to get the plant down and force Jaeger into an unwinnable situation. So Slaughterhouse is doing so many good things, but DG is just doing so many more good things, and that is really just kind of the story so far. This is, I think, really the only matchup where it has been considerably one-sided. And well, actually we can look at that Artemis game, but half of that just comes down to the fact that it was Artemis, and Artemis is #1 in the league at the moment, and it's kind of something we've come to expect from them.
They are, as far as we've seen, they're invincible. Disrupt not so much so, but Slaughterhouse not bringing quite enough. But yeah, the MVP to that last round has to go to that flank watch on the west security window. If that wasn't there, there were 2 people ready to activate on that flank, and they were pushing up, but just the gunfights being lost, that was unlucky. It's 50-50 is whoever has the better aim in that situation, and in that case, the player on the window got 2 different kills, so well played by her.
Yeah, it's just, again, I think we're almost a broken record at this point, because we keep saying, well played by X, Y, and Z, and most of the time X, Y, and Z is on the side of Disrupt. As we are now seeing a slightly different approach from Slaughterhouse, as it looks like kind of the operators are spread thin, just a little bit more than what we've seen before from them. Most of the time it's kind of been that turtle strategy where you have an offsite anchor, but now you have the Legion all the way downstairs. The Legion's not necessarily the operator you want to be on a deep roam situation, because the Legion is really really valuable late in the round and can kind of put so much intel on entry points into the site. But it does make sense because Legion also has a very, very powerful game. But very, very powerful gun. So we are now kind of reaching this point in the round where Valkyrie has rotated down from metal and is looking to potentially flank up east stairs. It's actually going to be the Legion who's going to flank up east stairs, and is going to be able to find the frag onto Max. It could potentially find another, and she does, but gets immediately refragged from the Jackal. I don't exactly know how the Jackal wasn't able to find that kill earlier on. I don't exactly know where the Jackal was, but nonetheless, the trade does come out, but it's at the cost of 2 bodies, as Legion kind of escaping the round with 2 kills to her name. But the problem with that is that's kind of something you'd rather have your Bandit do, as you're losing that very valuable goo mine that you could put onto site. As Chameleonaire is trying to land a couple shots, but unfortunately cannot hit, as Pyro is able to find a huge shot onto her. And it's going to be all brought down to the Thermite, where you do still have a Jaeger looming upstairs, and then the Valkyrie and the Bandit sitting comfortably on site, as Slaughterhouse right now are just hoping to go into the half 4-2.
Yeah, all they've got to do is wait. They don't have to overextend. The Jaeger can hold the flank from upstairs to make sure she doesn't come down either main stairs, metal, or east stairs. And she wants to challenge, though, and she does win the fight, so good enough for her. Doesn't lose out the half that much. It is 4-2, not the strongest scoreline, but they've got a chance to bring it back on attack, and we're going to see what they're going to do in the second half coming up very, very soon.
Yeah, and second half is always a good time to kind of hit that hard reset button. And I think Slaughterhouse, although they did come out 4-2, and it's not the worst deficit to be in, I think they really got to hit that hard reset button, because they need to take a calculated risk here. Because even if the calculations are all wrong, there's not much more they can lose. They are sitting at the bottom of the standings, and this game really is for pride. This game is just, it's almost, again, this sounds really mean, but it's almost a scrim at this point for DG, because if DG wins this, they are sitting comfortably in the top 4. And if Slaughterhouse wins this, like not really much changes because they have been mathematically eliminated from playoffs, and there's not much really worth fighting for except pride, except kind of getting your name out there and saying, hey, even with our backs against the wall, we were able to beat DG. And that's kind of what you need to see from Slaughterhouse right now. And in order to do that, they need to take a risk. They need to kind of change some things up drastically, or they need to go 100% fundamental, like nothing new, nothing changed. It's two very drastic things that they need to decide, but they can't be kind of playing this game of going back and forth and sitting in the middle. They need to choose either we're going 100% fundamental or we're going 100% like monkey mode. It's just they need to figure something out here, and they can't stay in the middle.
I agree with you. Like I've said this so many times today. That's just how it feels, you know, when you're this far down. It's like, what do we got? You're playing. You have nothing to lose. I guess you have everything to gain, though. That's the thing. I'm gonna tack on to what you said about the standings too. Disrupt. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, they're gonna be in 4th if they win. I'm not expecting them to lose, but I think Slaughterhouse actually, it might not mean that much. Maybe to them. But if they win, because Powerhouse Mischief today lost 1-7, I think
Slaughterhouse would actually be ahead of them. They would be in 9th.
Yeah, because of round
count. Yeah. So even if Slaughterhouse loses every round after this, they will still find themselves in 9th. Well, they'd have to win the game. I apologize. Yeah, they'd have to win. So
that's actually unfortunate right now because they have more rounds won than Powerhouse. Like, but they're still below them because they have less map wins.
That just kind of is unfortunate. But Kai is able to find the first kill onto the Nomad. That's also very unfortunate, as Maddox is able to find another kill onto Assault Queen. As now Alexis K, though, is able to get the direct trade onto Maddox, but the man advantage count is still in favor of the defense. And briefly, I just want to say, it kind of sounds like we're attacking Slaughterhouse, and we do apologize for that, but it's kind of just what casters tend to do, is we just point out mistakes, and we're also people who just watch games and talk over them, and sometimes the things we say can sound a little bit rude, and we do apologize for that. And if you have a major problem with it, I would love to just kind of hear from you and talk to you about it, because our main objective is to keep it as entertaining as possible, not to make people sad or mad. So we do apologize if it kind of sounds like we are trying to make people sad and mad. And talking about sad and mad, we are going to be seeing Slaughterhouse. I don't know how I was going to link that. I'm not going to lie, but we are going to be seeing it's a 2v2 now. Yeah, it's a 2v2 now. So kind of making Disrupt sad when they once had that man advantage that has been deemed unnecessary and has been deemed basically worthless, because it's now a 2v2. Has no advantage in the sides of anybody, as Chameleon is somehow able to win that. What a nice shot from her, and it's going to be all up to the Capitan now, who finds himself sitting in the corner, and unfortunately Fry Queen, well, is just going to let the chopper sing and takes down Alexis there. And just like that, missing quite a lot of bullets, but it does not matter in the end, as DG once again are able to escape with another round, making it 5-2 in favor of DG.
Yeah, lands the important shot, and they're definitely up quite a few rounds. Uphill battle for Slaughterhouse. We've been saying that a lot with all the games, but this one is probably the most fitting, considering the streak that they've gone on and the fact that they are down 3 rounds. I don't believe there has been a game that has gone to second half and we've been down 3 rounds. I think every game that's been 4-2 today, the team that's been on the back foot has won the first round going into the second half. That is not the case in this round, or in this game. So Slaughterhouse having an even more difficult task than all the other teams ahead of them that still haven't been able to bring it back. So it's going to be a long road. It's going to be a bumpy road. And there's going to be fire at the end of it. There's going to be like ice in the middle. They got to watch out for like wet patches or whatever, like ice on the road. It's not going to be fun. They need some kind of miracle, and that's all it's going to take. And it can take nothing other than that at this point, I think.
Yeah, and this is the point, we were talking about this earlier on. I think this is the point where DG if not already has happened, but I think DG is starting to hide strats. I think they're kind of just playing their game. They realize, all right, we can win our 5v5s based on just fundamental either rank strats or strats that are very, very basic. And this is probably where you're going to start to see them maybe even experiment with different types of strats, because the Alibi is a new operator that we haven't seen once today. And most of the time, Alibi isn't a very viable operator unless it's 100% focused on a certain hold, or 100% focused on just the fact that Alibi is a really good gun. And either way, that's showing, hey, DG is either experimenting with their strats, or they are very, very comfortable and just want to win their gunfights because they don't need to be showing any strats. So I really think just based on the operator lineup that we're seeing from DG, they have reached that point in this game where they're saying, okay, let's just calm down on the... let's calm down on anything that can give another team information going into playoffs.
Yeah, that's definitely what they need to watch out for. Because they're doing pretty well right now. If you look at the information gathering, they're either gathering no information or all the information they're gathering is getting denied right off the bat. You've seen the Jaeger getting droned by Assault Queen, if I'm correct, on the AC balcony, and the drone instantly gets shot. There's no chance to respond. That's no fault of Assault Queen. There's just like you physically cannot do anything about that Jaeger in that situation. And same thing with the player in sight. I thought that was a dock, but obviously I'm wrong because there's no dock on board. But whoever was in that room, instantly eliminating that drone as well. Like there's just nothing. There's no follow-ups. Okay. First round, that's good. Alexis with an opening frag, but that's 2 minutes off the board virtually, and a response from Maddox laying down on top of the servers. So keeping it in tow, not letting it get too far away from them. They have a minute left. Looks like the player on West Balcony is retreating, so no drive peak, so keeping some fundamentals, but there are two there. Maddox is going to get another one, a refrag, but Chameleonaire peeks around and has her teammates back. Post-mortem, but still all good for the side of DG, as it is a 3 versus 2.
Yeah, 3 versus 2 with about 40 seconds left, and there's not too much control, but just like that, you are going to be making it a 2v2. So up top control, I still think could potentially be a little bit in favor of the attack, as yes, you still have Kai upstairs, and I don't think Kai has been droned out whatsoever, as well as the fact you only have 20 seconds left. So making a completely up top orientated push that gets lines of sight downstairs and things like that, that's impossible right now, and that's exactly what we are going to be seeing from Slaughterhouse, and they recognize that as they're just going to be going for the plant. This is a situation where the Maestro has to come up huge, but
that's just
if you could put this, like, I feel like if you could put kind of like this season, or even no, not the season, the game in a play from Slaughterhouse, that's kind of it. That's just, you get so close. You get so close. And then it's just kind of the unlucky mistakes that set you apart. And that just hurts. That really just hurts.
Yeah, like, what do you say about that at that point? This is kind of unfortunate. Like, that was question, like at the beginning I was like, okay, from the Capital, because smoking, all right, smoking server, that's understandable, not gonna let a rotate come from there. But then smoking the door into the bomb site, that was that not only blocks off your line of sight,
yeah,
but it also makes your thermite gray screen, which, okay, if some people don't, most people probably know this, but if some people don't understand, gray screening is basically when you stand in a smoke, not only do the smoke particles cover your screen, but the game puts another gray filter over your entire screen, so even if you're at the edge, you can't see anything.
You can't see, yeah.
So thermite is blind, essentially, going into the bomb site. They probably don't know, okay, admittedly they probably don't know that Wolf K is still upstairs. All, like, all fair to them, but even still, you probably need the thermite to have that long angle if you're going to have them out there covering the bomb plant, the diffuser plant, and without that, that's just not only that, like, firing the fire arrow into the smoke, that might have gone better if she could see where she was shooting at. So just a thought there, maybe she wouldn't have burned her teammate, but hindsight is definitely 2020. There's a lot of it going around in this game. maybe it's just unfortunate. You know, a lot of work to be done on the side of Slaughterhouse, and they've only got, well, this round and the rest of the rounds following if they manage to win it to be able to do that in this season.
Yeah, they have to be absolutely perfect right now. And perfection, I said this last time around, is a moving target, and trying to hit that target every single time is impossible. That's why nobody is perfect. So this is going to be very, very hard for the side of Slaughterhouse, as we are now seeing a pretty typical push for this upstairs hold. But this thing that is kind of untypical is the fact that nobody has really put any contest onto the players playing in security room, and it's about 1 minute and we're almost 2 minutes into this round. Not even close. I apologize. We're about like 1 minute and 15 seconds into this round. And I was talking about contention. We are going to be seeing a lot of it as Slaughterhouse completely shut me up, as making it a 2v4, as I just cannot do math properly, and it throwed me completely off. But something that's not going to be thrown off is the line of sight that Jaeger still has sitting in security, and is able to find one and drops down and plays life now, as you have 2 versus 3 situation, as Tara is just trying to riddle up I guess anybody downstairs, as kind of things are starting to die down a little bit after the middle portion of that round was filled with chaos and treachery and bloodshed. And now it's kind of slowing down just a little bit. But if you look at just the operators on the side of the defense, very, very low in health.
This absolutely has to be a win for Slaughterhouse. It will be inexcusable if they lose this. Both players will die to a Thatcher grenade being thrown at them. There is no realistic world where DG should be able to win this round. It's possible, like anything, like it always is. One-shot headshots. They could just land their shots, but hypothetically, if things go to plan, there should be no way DG take this round. Plant is going down. Good on the side of SH, but it gets denied. 17 seconds, and a 2v2 commences. One does get taken off the board. Good from Bailey. Fry Queen is no longer, and thank goodness, Slaughterhouse take 1 round at least, and it is 3-6. They keep themselves alive.
That was way too close for comfort. The fact that that diffuser got denied was absolutely huge. I don't know why nobody was watching that cross, especially a very, very typical cross, because Chameleonaire literally just walked right up to the window, shot, and just waddled right back into the corner. Like it was simple, but it doesn't matter, as we do see Slaughterhouse are staying alive 6-3 now. This is a situation where DG really want to end this game as soon as possible, because round count could become a factor when it comes to seeding. If Victoria's Secret lose out, or if Queen Yellow Mid lose out, you will see that those teams will all be tied, and round difference is going to be the difference between first seed, second seed, and third seed. So Disrupt, yes, they are in a comfortable lead, but if I am them right now, I want this game to be over immediately. I am not trying to gift any more rounds to Slaughterhouse, because at that point, it's just hurting them entirely.
Yeah, it's admittedly it's not going to be very hard. Like, look at the bomb site they're defending. It is the standard of all standards. OG, like freaking, this is what we've been doing since year 1. Season 2, I think. That's when it came out, because Yacht was season 1. That's irrelevant. But yeah, this is bread and butter. Maddox even confident enough to go for a spawn peek even. Not gonna blame her. She's been doing well. The entirety of DG has, and Slaughterhouse needs to replicate their success on the round prior, and hopefully not drop any more players. That got decent. It got close. It got closer than it should have been, but at least they won it out, and they got to do it again if they want to keep themselves alive and take it to overtime. Not even just win it. They cannot win in standard time anymore. They need 5 rounds.
Yeah, and I think coming out of this game, obviously this game is not over. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold on that thought because this game is not over, and I don't want to say anything that relates to this game being over. But we are going to be seeing the attacking side of a Slaughterhouse is stalling out just a bit. Last time around the midpoint of this round, we saw Terra going absolutely massive. And once again, this is a potential for her to go absolutely massive in basically the same exact situation. Kind of hiding in break room and being able to find 1 or 2 kills. That's exactly what happened last time around. And she's already found 1. And that's going to be the Jaeger off the board. So 416 and also a very valuable roamer. Doesn't need to be worried about anymore, but something that has to be worried about is the fact that Kai is just going to be wide swinging Terra and absolutely shuts down any attempt of kind of Terra gaining control of security room, because the entire side of DG has basically retaken security room. As we are going to be seeing, Bailey though is able to find a kill onto Fry Queen, so taking down the Valkyrie and the Jaeger. So goodbye to all of your C4s, as Mozzie has already used his C4. This is looking very, very good for Slaughterhouse. Yes, they don't have too much map control, but they got rid of very valuable guns, very valuable roamers, and very valuable utility.
That is very, very true. Look, the overconfidence coming from DG as well. Those 2 players just peeking over and over again into break room. Slaughterhouse got lucky that they didn't get caught off by that, because no one would expect that. Like, who, if you did that against Team Empire, they wouldn't be watching for that. Let's admit it. That is just impeccable timing, and Slaughterhouse once again put in a favorable position to win this round. Bailey with another frag. K falls. 2 versus 4. And now both the ACOGs, one of them is even going to lose a fight to Assault Queen, and the last one hiding in between sandwich windows. What can Dope Girl do? Maestro, 80 bullets. Admittedly, she hasn't reloaded in a while, so it's 68. But nothing, as Assault Queen shuts her down. 2 in the round at the end to bring it even closer. 4-6. They might have a chance in this one.
Yeah, Caster's Curse coming right back at us, I think. We were at a position where we're like, oh, you know what, 7-2, 7-3. This is probably where it's going to end. And Slaughterhouse, I guess, heard us and said, you know what, you need to stop talking bad about us. We're going to absolutely wake up and smell the coffee here. And that's exactly what they have done. 6-4 now. This is turning into a game. And this is turning into a situation where, hey, overtime is very, very close. And a 7-5 is not what DG want, because the... All right, I just saw the chat. But,
Whoa, that's...
we are... No way, TOS. But something we are going to be seeing is
attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
But something we are going to be seeing is this is a potential for almost every game today going the absolute distance. And if I'm DG right now, once again, this is not something I want to happen, because round differential is so very important. And the fact that it is now 6-4 where it could have been 7-1, you just gifted 3 rounds to the other team, and those 3 rounds actually 100% are going to be the difference between being in 3rd place and being in 4th place, because right now Queen Yolomid is ahead in round count by literally 3 rounds. So it sucks to be DG in this situation. Yes, they're still winning, but they wanted to win this a lot earlier on.
Yeah, and now Slaughterhouse is like they're waking up. They're like you said, they're having coffee. They're freaking all the caffeine in their system.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
smell the
noticed.
coffee.
4 of the players on Slaughterhouse are 8-8. They literally all have 8 kills and 8 deaths. We've seen they fell off at the beginning, right? So that means they all had to wake up. It's not just one. They're not riding on the back of one person's success. They're all doing their own work, and that is beautiful to see. And that is really respectable. Even if they don't win this, which they have a chance to at this point, there is a serious contender going on here. But even still, if they don't, they've got something to be proud of by pulling it back as far as they have.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something you can take away from this game, which is the fact that, hey, Slaughterhouse is still in this game, as they are also able to get the man advantage once again. Assault Queen, I always say like cream, Assault Cream. Assault Queen from downstairs is able to find a pick onto the Mozzie, so taking down a C4. You still have a C4 in the hands of the Valkyrie, but Max is getting quite aggressive with this peak, trying to shut down the Thatcher, and it's actually going to be the Thatcher coming out worse for wear in that situation. And you still have a lot of time to work with if you are Slaughterhouse, and there's still a lot you need to do in terms of map control and also in terms of where you want to put your utility, and that's not really a solid beginning to that, as Maddox is able to finally trade out, as Maddox is also able to find another one, giving her a double kill, and she is just going to be sprinting down 90, trying to find the kill in the bucket. She's able to find it, a triple kill for Maddox, and well, it's big-time players make big-time plays, and she's absolutely making a big play, as she could potentially have another ace. One operator left here. It's going to be the Thatcher, and Maddox is begging for it, but unfortunately, no, she's going to be getting downed, and it's going to be Chameleonaire who steals it away. And Slaughterhouse, they got so very, very close to pulling off an incredible comeback, but it was Maddox who said, you know what, guys, let me just do my thing. And she goes absolutely huge in the last round there and gives Disrupt the win. And Disrupt now sitting comfortably in 4th place. And it looks like the playoffs are really starting to shape up.
Henry, I don't like. I actually got sad for 2 things. One, I started to like Slaughterhouse. I'm a new Slaughterhouse fan. They showed up at the end. I respect that. So props to them. But at the same time, Maddox got downed. I always say just throw it around. Let her have another chance. That was monstrous.
Pick her up. Pick her up.
Absolutely insane. It's just she was done with it. Like that was it. I mean, I want to go to bed and let's finish it now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You know, she just called game. Simple as that. As we are going to be able to bring Brimstone back into this. And Brimstone, what was your reaction to that match?
My reaction was a lot of surprise, I'd say. I'm very happy at the way Slaughterhouse performed. I don't think that we saw that coming, and I think Falcon stated it well when you notice when it was four other players that were 8-8 by the end there. They came together, and I mean, he said it wasn't one person, it was the whole team, and I think that's something that Slaughterhouse can be happy with. You know, we're at the end here where even being mathematically out, obviously it can't feel very great, but you know, it's still a competitive league. You still want to win, or at the very least have small victories, and I think they can really be proud of themselves for the small victories they did push forward with and get here in this match. But one thing I just wanted to say was that we just wanted to apologize for all the technical difficulties we were having here. A lot of it was out of our control, but we were doing our best on our end to try to pull it back within our control as much. And that's also why you're not seeing our beautiful and cute faces here now at the moment. So I apologize for everyone for that, especially Red Cube. Everyone loves his face, his hair, his skin. It's just something special. It's
so
a sight
confident.
to behold.
We don't need to boost him anymore.
Yeah, that might there are theories going on that might actually be what broke the system, but we'll have to find out what's going on there. But no, a phenomenal match. What we're going to do here for you is do a quick recap of the day. So the 4 matches that we did see were Artemis going up against Powerhouse, taking that 7-1. Outdeuced going up against Victoria's Secret, and Victoria's Secret taking that 8-6. Queen Yola Mid taking it 5-7 against 8K, and Disrupt Gaming taking that 7-4 over Slaughterhouse. And then the off-stream match, which you can catch on YouTube later, was Sinister Red taking it 8-7 over Axios. Now for the standings, we don't have updated standings as of yet, but what we'll do is update the standings that we do have. Just give one quick moment here. And the standings that we did have going into this game, we had Artemis first, which should stay the same with that win.
Yep.
Victoria's Secret staying the same at 2nd, and Queen Yola Mid same at 3rd, Disrupt Gaming same at 4th. So those are our 4 positions.
Almost everything stays the same.
Yeah, almost everything stays the same.
Yeah.
I believe that locks in Victoria's Secret to a playoff position no matter what happens here out. They may just not be secured in 2nd. Possibly even... No. Queen Yola Mid and Disrupt, I believe, still on the fence of retaining their positions, but at least one of them should retain it, depending on the matchups next week. We're not going to delve into the quantum mechanics of it all right here, right now. But yeah, most of the positions staying the same. Sinister Red, yeah, so Sinister Red in 5th, Axios in 6th, 8K in 7th, Outdeuced in 8th, Power in 9th, and Slaughterhouse in 10th. And I believe the bottom 3 ones, possibly even bottom 4, being mathematically eliminated at this point. Having said all of that, continue, Henry. Yeah,
I was going to say, I think coming out of this week, it eliminates a lot of people. There's 4 teams at the bottom of the table that are going to be kind of going home sad. And I think a big thing for them is, like we were talking about, hindsight is 2020. And sometimes the only way to kind of heal your wounds is kind of make peace with what created them. What did we do wrong this entire time? What did we do wrong this season? What can we fix? Let's stick together. Let's stick together as a team, and let's go continue playing in comp and figure out what do we need to change in order to be a very, very strong team. Because a lot of these teams at the beginning of the season look completely different from what they look like now. And I think that's something we really need to take away, because I know for a lot of these people, the big takeaway is our season's over. We can't make playoffs, but there's still hindsight is 2020. You have one more week left. What can you do in that last week that says, you know what, we are a solid team. I'm very proud of our performance. We did the best we could with the opportunities we had in this league. I think that's something a lot of these teams need to take away.
Yeah, and being competitive people, it's easy to understand that losing sucks, but at the end of the day, one thing that I think is important, more so in North America to remind themselves of than in Europe, is in North America there's a tendency for teams that when they have some bad streaks, get down on themselves and possibly even disband teams. But I think it's very important to find the successes that you've had within your games up to this point and build on that. Stick together, go forward. As Henry said, look at what mistakes you did make and build from that. And I think you'll come out on top as a stronger team than if you had just decided to say, you know what, we're done with this. It didn't go so well. I think there's a lot to take away and a lot to improve upon. But once again, I do just want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching. This has been an amazing season thus far. We still have just a little bit left to go. We got one more week of season games coming up next week. I want to thank Falcon for coming on with us here. Thank you so much for helping us out. Red Cube as well. And we're just going to be signing off here. Thank you once again, everyone, for watching, and please join us next week. Have a wonderful evening.